This is CCNA1 Chapter 11, Part 3 about basic network performance or monitoring the performance. There are, of course, a lot of different applications that can do this for you, but we can also just here look at what we already have built in that we can do. So we can, of course, look at our pings and see how the responses are to our ping requests. We can see here that when we try to ping, for instance, from inside a router, we have an exclamation mark indicating that we get a receipt on our echo reply message. A dot indicates that we don't get a reply back, and a U says that this is unreachable. Unreachable probably would mean that we don't know how to route the packet or the ping request. So, and we can do more to the options that we have in ping on our EOS devices. We can just say ping, and then it will ask us how do we want ping to be handled, and we can put up the target IP address. We can just also, of course, just say ping 192.168.10.1 and press enter. Then we will ping with the normal settings. But we can here, for instance, set up how many count do we want it to be repeated, the size of the datagram, the timeout seconds, and if we want to have extended commands also. So we can see more if we use the extended ping than just a normal ping. We can use the ping to create a baseline so that we actually do a ping and then we save it so that we have that recorded for another time. If you want to go back and see, I think the network is now faster or slower than what it used to be, well, then I can go in and look at my baseline ping and see, okay, in the beginning when we set up the network or a year ago or whatever, the baseline looked like this. And then we can ping again and try to just compare the two of them. So that is important to somehow have a baseline, and we can do that also by capturing a text file from within, if you're, for instance, using Hyperterminal or any other terminal emulation programs. So we can do that also from within the routers or the switches. We can also do a trace route where you trace each router the message will go through from the source to the destination, and then of course see if something has changed in our network or if something has been rerouted. So trace is also something that we can use. Then of course we can use the show commands to see how the things are set up. We can use show running config, show interfaces, show ARP, show IP route, show protocols, and show version. There are so many things to be seen when we do a show version. For instance, of course, the version of it, the bootstrap, how it's been booted up, the iOS image, how much CPU and RAM we have, the number and types of our interfaces, the amount of NVRAM, the amount of flash, and the configuration register, meaning how has the router been started up. You just do the show version and then it will show you all these things. On the different end devices, you can do an IP config. An IP config /all will also show you the MAC address. The IP config /display DNS will see the cached DNS entries that we have when we are using a Windows computer. The ARP will show us the translation between the MAC address and the IP address, and we can use the ARP-A command on our devices or in our operating system to see the content of the ARP table. On the routers, we can use a Cisco protocol called CDP. If you use show CDP neighbors, it will tell you what neighboring devices am I connected to. The CDP is the Cisco Discovery Protocol. You can do the show interfaces, and show interfaces brief will show you the amount and how the interfaces has been configured and whether they are up or down, or if it's assigned an IP address and so on. Yeah, that was it.